Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So here we are with our session number 114. And inshallah, we'll start our session with a quick review from whatever we were going over in our last session. And the practice that we were on was the practice of al-masdar al-mu'awwal. So the first question that I have for you is, al-masdar al-mu'awwal can be rafa, nasb, and jar. What do you think? The status for al-masdar al-mu'awwal can be raf, nasb, or jar. True or false? Right? Sometimes when it is mubtada, when it is going to take the place of mubtada, in case of an tasumu, it is fi mahalli raf'an. When it is taking place of mafulun bihi, it is fi mahalli nasbin. When it is majroor by ala, here in Surah Al-An'am, verse number 37, the status of al-masdarul mu'awwal is jar. When it is khabar for ayatuka, as we did in Surah Ali Imran in our last session, verse number 41, it is going to be fi mahalli raf'in because it is a khabar. So it can be of any status. It depends on its location, its role in any given verse. Everyone got it or no? Is it something that you understand that yes, it can be of any status? It depends on whatever role is assigned to al-masdar al-mu'awwal. Then we went over a few of the verses from Surah Al-A'raf. I think we went over that, and I think we had to end the session at that point. So remember, we were seeing if it is mudafun ilayhi, as it is the case in case of Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 129, Uzina min qabli an ta'tiyana. Here you are going to see it is taking the place of mudafun ilayhi. So what will be the status of this masdarul mu'awwal? Who can tell me that? Fi mahalli jarrin, right? It makes sense, right? How things are going to be based on their role in any given verse. So al-masdar al-mu'awwal is an ism, is a interpreted as an ism. What do you think? Yes or no? True, right? You are going to think of it as an ism. Asa is also one of the fe'lun naqis, and when you have a fe'lun naqis, asa rabbukum, this is a fe'l that is naqis, fe'l madin naqis. When I see a ism that is raf in status after a fe'l naqis, what should I name it? How should I label it? Anyone remembers from their nahu? Ismu asa. What about rest of the sister? Sister Shamim is saying it is ismu asa, right? Can you call it fa'il? We cannot call it fa'il since it is a fail that is naqis. It has tense. It has tense. But it does not have an action. It is naqis in the sense that it does not have an action. Therefore, it cannot take a fa'il, but it can take ismu something, right? If there is an ism after it, or if it has an attached pronoun, like if it was asaytum, what will be the ismu asa in that case? Because you see that in Quran. So you should know how to label it. Tum or ta'ul fa'il is going to be ismu asa in that case, right? So here asa rabbukum is going to be, rabbukum is ismu asa. When you have ismu something, what is the next step? When you have ismu kana, you look for khabru kana. When you have ismu inna, you look for khabru inna. So when you have ismu asa, look for khabru asa. And do you see one here? Maybe your Rabb. You see, أن يهلك عدوكم. Maybe your Rabb he destroys your enemies. Your enemies. So, what will be the status of this? Now it's a tricky question. Now, when you have ismu asa and asa is fail nakis. When you have fail nakis, when you had learned fail nakis kana or fail nakis laysa, what was the status of the khabar then? If you remember, who remembers? The status of a khabar is nasb. So now you have fail nakis asa. So what should be the status here? Should it be raf'in or nasbin? Barakallahu feek, my dear sisters. Remember, few things that we need to go over and we need to come back stronger, right? We need to revise all those concepts, and it sometimes takes many revisions to remember that, okay? Don't just get disheartened if you don't remember one or two things, but remember that, it's going to be taking you some revisions to come back. Okay, now let's see here. This is not something that is going to be related to whatever we are going to cover today, but I think it's good verse to review. وَقَدْ. What do you think about qad? When you see qad, what comes to your mind? Emphasis. Barakallahu feek. Very well done. It is a particle of emphasis. It is harf tahqiq. Harf tahqiq. Hakikatan, how you say it in Urdu. So similar to that, hakikatan. He is successful today, whoever is the highest, right? So aflaha. Where do you think is this? What is this word? What is the siga of this word? Failun madin. Barakallahu feek. Aflaha is failun madin. Anyone remembers which family does it belong to? Can somebody do the sarf as well? So now this is how we are going to practice stuff, okay? When we are going to do nahu, we will insert sarf as well, okay? It is family number 4, not 5, my dear sisters, because it has hamzatul qata in it, okay? Al-yawma. Indeed, he succeeded today. Al-yawma. How can we label it? Easy. If you have zarf, so when you have zarf, you can call it mutalik bil, right? You can call mutalik bil fail. Barakallahu feek, dear sisters. Okay. Aflaha. Do you know the file in aflaha? What could be the possible file in aflaha? Huwa. Is it mustatir or bariz? It is mustatir. When you have huwa or hiya, should you look for an outside doer, my dear sisters? You should, right? Once upon a time, we learned it. So do you find any outside doer for aflaha in this verse? Who can tell me there's an outside doer? Very well done. Very well done. Man. Man. What kind of an ism is man? My dear sisters, beautiful job. Barakallahu feek. Yes, man is the outside doer. So what's the status of man? Number 1, let's do the status of man. Raf, and it's going to be fi mahalli rafin. Since it is not going to be able to show you its status, it is non-flexible bisakun, right? It is fi mahalli rafin. Now tell me, when you see man, after man, what do you see? What kind of ism is man? No, it's not nakis. It's a mausul, right? It's a mausul, right? Remember once upon a time? Allazi, allazani, allazaini, allazina, allati, allatani, allataini, allati, allai. Ma, man. They were 2 asmaul mausula that are considered to be common by number of scholars, okay? So when you see man, which is ism mausul, now that you know, what should you look for after it's a mausul? Should you look for khabar or silatul mawsool? Barakallahu feek. Do you find one, my dear sisters? Barakallahu feek. It is jumla felia ista'ala. So it is jumla. There is one after it, and it is jumla felia ista'ala. Where is this fail coming from in terms of sarf? What can you tell me about this? Is failun madin. Barakallahu feek. How do you know that this is from family number 10? What helped you determine that? Give me the reason. Is this family 10? Al-Mazid bihar, Al-Mazid biharfain, Al-Mazid bi salasatil ahraf. What do you think? 1, 2, or 3? How many are Mazid here? There are 3, right? There are 3. Hamzatul Wasl, number 1. Sin, number 2. Ta, number 3. Ain, Lam, Waw are the root letters. Everyone got it? Alhamdulillah? Okay, so let's see. I don't want to do very hard nahu today, because still we are going to do a surf practice, and we are going to learn a new family, because I want to end our term with the family number 1, form 1, and then we are going to do advanced surf in the next term. Not right next, but we may mix it. The next term maybe mix of surf and nahu. Okay, so just real quick, who remembers the type of in that is followed by lam? When you have in followed by lam, what comes to your mind? What kind of in is that? Because that was, I did not get very many answers. Very well done. It was in mukhaffafa. So in actuality, in reality, this was inna, right? Inna was there, and it's damir. It is basically, think of it as innahu. Okay, innahu, nasabba mansub, and the khabar is, what kind of khabar do we see after innahu? Is it a jumla? Is it a mufradism? Or is it something else? My dear sisters, it is a jumla, right? So think of it as inna. It is inna, and what helps you find out that this is in mukhaffafa? How do you know? Did you figure it out because of I wrote it here, or there is a clue there in the verse? When you have in followed by lam, which is called lamul fariqa, your in is inna. In actuality, it is inna. It is mukhaffafa min as-sakila inna. Okay, so it was in actuality, and you will see indeed these two are surely are two magicians. Okay, you will see that in translation. You will see that in your tafsir, that this was inna, that is mukhaffaf, that has that has been lightened by one noon. So you only have one noon here. Yes, it just dropped one of its noon, and it does so in many verses. You will see it many times. That's why you learned it in your term 3. Yeah, and then this lam that helps you differentiate. This lam tells you this is, don't translate it as not, don't translate it as if. This is not in shartiya. This is not in nafiya. This lam helps you determine that. So one thing that helps you differentiate the types of in is called this lam that helps you differentiate different types of in, that tells you that this is in mukhaffafa, is called lamul fariqa. Lamul fariqa, and you have learned it in your term 3. Okay, so I can ask Sister Faiza to send you set of slides so that you can review as well. It will be a good review for you while you're learning and just memorizing most of the stuff in your surf. Okay, now let's review a little bit more. So when we started our harufun nasiba, you have learned, this concept, how you are going to see your mudare, how your mudare is going to be mansoob. Then you learned 3 set of harufun nasiba. I taught you 3 set of harufun nasiba in few sessions ago. We went over an, right? Lan, you have already learned that it is one of the particles. What does it do? Do you remember? What does lan do? Anyone can tell? It pushes the meaning into future, and it is a particle of negation, right? It negates in future. Kai, the purpose of Kai is going to tell you why an action should happen. And here you can see it written down in my slide. Kai is harf masdari. It's also masdariya. So whatever comes after it will start along with Kai is going to start to act like an ism, just like an does. Make sense or no sense? Let me know if it is confusing. It is another harf masdari, which along with the fail mudare is going to act like an ism. It is harf nasb, makes an ism nasb after it. It pushes the meaning into future. That is also that is the reason it is called harf istiqbal. وَتَفِيدُ التَّعْلِيلِ, and it has a benefit of giving you the reason why an action should happen. Okay, then comes idhan. You don't see it in Quran, however it is harf jawab wa jaza, and it is harf nasb and istiqbal again. Makes mudare mansoob, pushes meaning into future. It is translated as in that case. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it since we are not going to see it in Quran. So I think we can, just I'm going to give you the slides, but we will briefly touch upon it, but not spend too much time on it. When it comes to hatta, do you see it often or you don't see it? What do you think? Hatta, we see it lot of times in Quran. We see it very, very often, too many times actually. And you will see mainly two types of hatta. That is why, since it comes in Quran, it is important for us to learn about it. It can come in the meaning of ila. Ila means what? When you were learning your haruf jar, what is the meaning of ila? Ila ajalin musamma. To, or you can also translate it as until, right? Until as well. It can give you a meaning of until certain time, right? The next meaning that hatta can come up with is it will mean it can have exact same meaning as kai. And the meaning of kai is tafidu ta'alil, which means it will give you the meaning of so that. Everyone with me so far? Have you understood what I'm trying to tell you? Kai can have two meanings. Remember that it can have a meaning of ila, that is why you see it translated as until, and it can also have meaning of kai. Why I have written this an after it is because I have taught you that these are the words they are going to make mudare mansoob because of hidden an after them, right? Hidden an after them. They have an mudbira after them, right? An mudbira after them. That is why they make mudare mansoob. Okay, so can come in the meaning of until and can come in the meaning of so that. Okay, it can give you the reason why an action should happen. Lamu ta'alil, you see it very often in Quran, right? And you see it and you translate it as so that. In Urdu, you translate it as take. Ta'alif ta, ka, or and then there is a ha after it. Take, right? Everyone got it or no? Alhamdulillah. Then comes fa'us sababiya. Whatever is before it is the reason of whatever happens after it. And we have gone over fa'us sababiya in our term 3 extensively. And we'll again, if we get a chance, we may touch upon it. And then comes your, the next is aw. It can come in the meaning of ila'an or illa'an. It is very rarely seen. Okay, it's going to be very, you are not going to see very many examples of aw as harf nasiba. But when you have mudare mansoob after your aw and you don't have any reason for mudare to be mansoob, what are you going to think of? you are going to think of aw. Okay, you are going to think of aw as harf nas. Is there a an mudbira after it, which is making mudare mansoob. Okay, whenever you see no reason for a mudare to be mansoob and mudare has aw before it, think of it as harf nasiba, that is not acting on mudare itself but has a hidden an after it which helps make mudare mansoob. Similar is wawil ma'ayya. It comes in the meaning of ma'a, accompaniment, like something happens with something. An action occurred while this action occurred. Okay? If you see mudare mansoob after waw, whenever you see mudare mansoob after waw, and that's not going to be very many cases, but if you happen to come across that, think of wawil ma'ayya. Everyone with me? And this waw is special for the reason that it has a hidden an after it that makes mudare mansoob. Okay? There is a hidden an after wabil ma'ayya, aw, and they are not very commonly used as harufun nasiba, right? And they are not exerting an action of mudare by themselves. They have hidden an after them that makes mudare mansoob. Then you will see in Quran a lam that looks and spells the same way as lamu ta'lil. This lam, however, is going to be called lamul juhud. What is the name of the lam? Lamul juhud. If you see li with a mudari mansoob that is preceded by ma kana or lam yakun, you are not going to call lam as lamu ta'lil. You will use this name for lam and you're going to call it lamul jahud. Is this clear so far, my dear sisters? If you have lam that you see after ma kana or lam yakun, you are going to call that lam lamul jahud. Lam yakunillahu liyaghfira. So what is happening here? You see a lam and you see mudare mansoob, right? You see a lam and you see mudare mansoob after it. This lam that is following lam yakun, this lam that is following ma kana, don't call it lamu ta'lil, call it lamul jahud. It is used to very strongly deny something. Okay? It is not giving you the reason. It is not a lam of reasoning. Therefore, it is given a different name. I would have not made you remember this name or memorize this name at all unless it had something to do with your comprehension of Quran. My dear sisters, we are all learning grammar to understand Quran better, to go closer to and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by understanding his words. So the whole entire purpose of the course is so that you know why is something certain way, why do we call it with a certain name. You will find for most of the particles or asma a reason that that was the reason this particle is called lamul juhud and this is called lamu ta'lil and there is another lam which is going to be called lamul akiba. Okay, the purpose is so that you get to understand the tafsir of the words of Allah. Okay, everything is very clear and transparent. Okay, how do we translate lamul jahud in Urdu? Or I don't how to translate it in Urdu in a sentence. Lamul jahud, you mean? No, it's not going to be translated. You will only use a word k, and that is I can show you how to write k. The same ta k, the same ta k is going to be just और नहीं है अल्लाह के लिए कि वो बख्श दे उन्हें और नहीं है कि वो हदायत दे उन्हें रास्ते की तरफ. ठीक है? Clear? Alhamdulillah. Okay? So yes. So let's go back and let's just understand it. Barakallahu feek, Sister Samina. It made my job very easy that you just wrote it down. And so that, because many of our sisters are also doing word to word and in Urdu, and for most of the people, Urdu is the main language of instruction, and they do their word to word in Urdu as well. So I think it will greatly help everyone, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, and may Allah bless you immensely for your effort, inshallah. So let's come back and see here. We have gone over these. So everyone is clear with all this, these two slides. Everyone understands? Okay, Alhamdulillah. So, you have learned it in more detail because you will see it most commonly. When it comes to learn, you understand that it will push the meaning into future. It adds more emphasis. It is going to be used for negation. We have done it. We have covered this topic in term 3 for negation of jumla filia. Whenever you see lan with mudare, that is going to be mansoob, you will understand it's going to be translated as will never, and there is a lot of emphasis there. That is how it is different from simple plain la nafiya that negates jumla filia. When it comes to K, it is going to give you the benefit of reasoning. That is why tufidu ta'lil. Ta'lil means it will give you the reason why something should happen. So here, look at the verse, a couple of verses from Surah Taha. Musa alayhi salam is requesting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make Harun alayhi salam partner in his matter, in his affair of spreading the message of Allah. Wa ashrikhu fi amri. Kay nusabbihaka kathira. And make him partners in my task, and let him share my task so that we glorify you immensely. Does it, the whole sentence after, isn't it giving you the reason why Musa alayhi salam wants Harun alayhi salam to be his partner? Yes or no? Is it clear to each and every one of you that K is going to give you the reason why Allah should make Harun alayhi salam partners with Musa alayhi salam in his work of dawah? So if one forgets, the other is going to remind him, okay, glorify Allah, do tasbih. Okay, so when you see K, you assume you have learned K as likay. You have learned it as, it is going to be together as likay, or you may see just li, right? So if you have been told that this is harf masdari, if it is harf masdari, and I want you to think of li as harf jar. So what will be the status of this kay nusabbihaka? What should be the status of kay nusabbihaka? I'm telling you that think of lam as harf jar. Li as harf jar, and li, if it is harf jar, it's going to make masdarul muawwal jarin status. So when you see a jar wal majroor in your jumla fi'liya, how do you label it? How you were taught to label it? Mutalik bil fail. Mutalik MBF, right? Mutalik bil fail. You all are with me? So can I say that this verse is mutalik bil fail ashrikhu? Who agrees to that, and whoever disagree, please let me know now. Right? So it is going to be mutalik bil fail ashrikhu, and it's going to be fi mahalli jarin because of lam, assumed lam there that has been omitted. Okay, and this is something that we are going to practice a lot in our verses, because we are going to start our surahs very soon, and since we are almost finishing our surf now, so this is coming up, so it's very important that you are prepared for that, my dear sisters. So izan does not come in Quran very often. It is usually going to be translated as in that case. How you are going to translate it is, you are going to translate it as in that case, therefore, or then. So for example, you're seeing here, sa azuruka, I shall visit you. Idhan ukrimaka. Idhan ukrimaka. I shall visit you. In that case, I will honor you. Make sense? That this is pushing the meaning into future. This is answering for this sentence before, right? This will happen and then this will happen. So there is a sentence before it, and it is the next sentence is with starting with idhan, which is actually the jawab for the first sentence. Okay, so forget about the densely filled slide at this point, because I don't think it is going to help you much. But just remember particle of jawab and jaza, because you see an action and you see a result after idhan, right? With idhan ukrimaka, you see an action, the result of an action that occurred in the first sentence, right? There was one sentence following another sentence, and idhan is going to be in the following sentence, and it's going to be like a particle of jawab, and it's going to push the meaning into future. And it's going to be, since it's not going to be seen in Quran, so we can skip over it, and we'll just inshallah that is idhan is that is something else, dear. That is something else, and that is masdar. Okay, the question that you are asking is bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Bi'izni, see, spellings are different. Is in that case as a sakoon, and that is a masdar. Okay, permission, that means permission. Okay, then comes lamu ta'lil, and does it have any action of its own? What do you think? Can it make mudare mansoob by itself? No, it cannot make mudare mansoob by itself. It has a hidden an that acts after it. So if it does not have any action on its own, has an an that works, it makes undo the action. And if there is an an after it, what will be the status of an plus fail after it? If fi mahalli jarin, right? Fi mahalli jarin, because lam, you are going to think of it as lame jar. Okay, so it's going to also act as, when you have a li followed by an mudmira, hidden an after it, with a mudari mansoob, the status of masdarul muawwal with an with a fail is going to be jar. Okay, the status of masdarul muawwal is going to be jar. So li ya'budu, li ya'budu. Let's look at this example first, and then I will tell you what is happening here. Okay, so don't focus on anything, but focus on this verse of Surah Az-Zariyat, verse number 56. And we did not create the jinns and the human beings, illa, except, so that they worship me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and I did not create jinns and human beings except to worship me. So li, is it making mudare mansoob, or a hidden an is after it? An is hiding after it. There is a hidden an. When you have an plus fail, that is mansoob, what does it make? An plus fail, masdar al-muawwal. Al-masdar al-muawwal. Al-masdar al-muawwal, which is going to act like an ism. What is going to be the status of al-masdar al-muawwal when you have li before it? What should be the status? Fi mahalli jarin. Fi mahalli jarin. Because li, you are going to consider it as, because it does not do anything except to, it is hiding an an after it. So think of it as harf jar. Think of it as harf jar. Okay. When you now have a jar wal majroor, right? Li an ya'budu. Li an ya'budu was the exact form of the word. There was li an hidden after it, and ya'budun na became ya'budu, right? So when you have jar wal majroor, it will make what? in any given sentence. Jar wal majroor are mutalik bil, right? Mutalik bil. They become mutalik bil, right? So when you have a mutalik bil, you have a jumla failure here, right? Khalaqtu, jumla failure, fail madin, failuhu, ana. Al jinna, maful bihi, wal insa, matuf ala al jinna, right? Waw harf ath, illa harf istasna, liyabuduni. What will I call it now? Jar wal majroor, mutalik bil fail. Isn't it not telling you why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created jinns and insan? So lamu talil has the same meaning as kai, which means so that. What is the meaning of lamu talil? So that. So that it's so that in meaning, it shares the meaning with kai, but how does it work? Grammatically, it has an an after it, which makes mudare mansoob, and the status of mudare mansoob with an, which is al-masdar al-muawwal, is jar because of li. Okay, we call it fi mahalli jarrin because we don't see any kasra there, right? What is this ni here? Anyone remembers from term 2-3? It's a, okay. So nunul waqaya with the sign of a pronoun, right? It was originally ni, and ya got emitted. It left its mark on nunul waqaya, and this is showing you that there's a pronoun which is wahid mutakallim I, right? Everyone got it, or too hard? Okay, now let's practice another verse and see if we are on it. فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. So what is happening here, my dear sisters? Start from wallu. If I give you that the word is wallu, so what do you think? It's an amr. Okay, so that Sister Shamim has helped you already. Now think about it. Which family has an amr? From which family this word can come from? Can it be from family 5, my rest of my sisters? What do you think? Cannot be. So, which family? 2. Good job, Sister Rubin. And we are going to make some mistakes, right? And they are, jais, right? Permissible. So let's see. There was a, how do we know this is coming from family number 2? Waw, lam, ya are your root letters, my dear sisters. What are you seeing here? What is mazid here? Shadda on Ainul Kalima. There was a Shadda on Ainul Kalima, doubling of the Ainul Kalima. That is why you know that there is family 2. This word is from family 2. And here you are going to call it Filul Amr. You all turn your faces shatrahu towards its direction. Yani, make it in its direction towards it. You can just call it shatrahu mutalik will fail. Now focus on li Allah. How many words are there in li Allah? 1, 2, or 3? Okay, there are 3. So can you all start typing? What are those words? Number 1, start from the start. Li number 1, Sister Sabra, brilliant job. An number 2, la number 3, right? Li, an, la. Why? What are you seeing here? Are you seeing invisible here? Yes or no? An is not hidden now anymore, my dear sister. Now an is visible. Allah, right? It is now visible. You are seeing the noon is omitted because of the rule of idgham, but now you see hamza of an, right? And the noon is in the shadda of lam. Noon is we know the sisters who figured it out is they found the noon sakina in the shadda of lam and the hamza of Hamzatul Qata of an help them determine that an is now visible. It's not hidden anymore. When you see li followed by la nafiya, an has to be visible. An cannot remain mudmira anymore. Okay, is this clear? And that is why when I put them in the rows, I kept it separate. That lamu ta'lil, when it is followed by la nafiya, it's going to show you, it's an is going to be not mudmira anymore. It's going to be visible at that time. Okay, everyone got it? And it is visible or it's not visible. It does not make any much in terms of a difference, but it is something that you should know, that some will always have hidden an after them, and some can have, this one can only, this is the only one that can have a visible an after it, and this will occur in the case when it is followed by la nafiya. Are you all with me? Yeah. So now think about this. لِأَلَّا yakuna, so that you all turn your faces towards its direction, in order that towards it, in order that people have no hujjah against you all. Is this giving you a reasoning? Yes, it is visible and now. It is, my dear sister, you are seeing Hamza here. In here, can you see any Hamza after this li? Can you see any ya mushaddad? You don't see it, right? You don't see any ya mushaddada, right? But here, lam noon sakina is being written in, it is how, according to the rule of tajweed, you are anyways not going to read it. You are going to skip over it, right? So it is allowed for it to be written like that. Okay, you don't say that this is not visible. Okay, it's visible. You don't see any hamza after this li, right? There's no visible hamza here, huh? So now you see, you all turn your faces towards it, so that people don't have any argument against you. Does it make any sense to you, my dear sisters, how li Allah is giving you the reason why we should turn our faces towards something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking the believers to turn towards? And since it gives you the reason, and this is li, you are going to consider it as harjar. Can you call it mutalik bil fail? Wallu? Can we call it mutalik bil wallu? Yes, and it is going to be mutalik bil fail, my dear sisters. When it comes to hatta, I told you it can be in the meaning of ila and until that, or it can be so that, which is going to be with kai. It can have a meaning of kai an, or it can have a meaning of ila an. So let's see how that works. And I think I will not be able to go to family one, and that's okay, right? Are you okay with that? That we do our family one on Saturday? Yeah, okay. So let's learn this one. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ. What is here? Don't cheat. Don't look at the translation, and just understand and tell me what is this word? Qatilu. Jumla failure is starting, Aisha. Barakallahu feek. Now tell me the sigha of this word. Is this madin, mudare, amr, nahi? Is it isam, fail? What is it? It is failul amr. Where is this amr coming from? Family number 3. What helped you determine that this is failul amr from family number 3, my dear sisters? Give me 2 reasons. There is an alif in the word. Barakallahu feek. Another reason that this is amr. The kasra on ainul kalima. Barakallahu feek. The kasra of the ainul kalima is your second reason. Number 1, okay, I got it. Yes, there is an alif in the family. So this is failul amr from family number 3. But how are we so sure that this is failul amr and not failul madin? There is a kasra on ainul kalima that helps you distinguish qataluhum, they fought them, versus you all fight them, right? When there is a kasra, it is fi'lul amr. When there was a fatha on ta, it's going to be, if there was a fatha on the ta, it's going to be fi'lun madin, right? Yes, jahidu, just like jahidu. Huh? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى. Hum is going to be mafulun bihi, حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ fitna. Hatta. There is hatta until there is no fitna. There's no more fitna. لا تكون. لا نافية. تكون مضارع منصوب بالفتحة الظاهرة. What is making تكون مضارع منصوب? How is this مضارع منصوب? There is a an mudmira after hatta. Now tell me, my dear sisters, if it is in the meaning of ila'an, what's going to be the status of this an la takuna fitna? I want answers from all of you and tell me your reasoning too. Yeah, just barakallahu fi. You're all right. You're all right. Yeah, call it fi mahalli jarin. So how will you connect it to jumla, failure, failul amr, qatiluhum? How are we going to connect it to whatever is before? Can we call it mutalik bil fail? Very well done. You are going to call it mutalik bil fail. I know it is very hard on neurons, but it's going to be very, very easy if you take it as, and if you go back and listen to the recording. Your key is go back and do the revision. Do the revision until everything gets solidified. Okay? I'm telling you, you all have showed your commitment to the course by being the part of it so far. Okay? But my dear sisters, you can benefit yourself by just practicing. Ask those people who are tajweed, who have tajweed with ijazas, how many times they must have practiced their words and then they get it right. Just ask any science of Quran. It's all about practice. I'm telling you, the science of Quran, when it comes to the medical science, practice makes you perfect. Not only the man, or women too, right? So keep that in mind. It's all going to be easy if I do my practice, if I go back to my recording, if I listen to my recording, if I come prepared. And don't let shaitan do a number on you. Don't let him win. He's going to tell you it's so hard. It's so hard. It tells me all the time that this is the prime time of my day, and I'm spending 1 hour 15 minutes in this class and in that class, and it sometimes it keeps on telling me, okay, I'm not giving enough time to my other responsibilities. But you know what you would have been doing if you were not doing this. We all know ourselves, right? So let's come back. Hatta an la takuna, it was unhidden there, which is hidden, and the status of that masdarul muawwal is jar. Hatta an la takuna fitna is going to be mutalik will fail for qatilu. When you see takuna, what comes to your mind, my dear sisters? Takuna. Now I'm coming back to your nahu. It is naqis. Do you have ismukana? Yes. Where is the ismukana? Is it hidden? Oh my God, I'm so happy Sister Shimi made a mistake today. Fitna is the ismukana. Sister Shimi, no, I'm not happy. Okay, I'm just kidding with you. Okay, yeah, there is fitnatun, right? Takuna has a hiya in it, right? And there is an ism after it, which is raf in status, and it is going to be your ismukana. Fitna is the ismukana. Then comes vayakuna, wow, at yakuna ma'tuf ala takuna, right? Now, why is this yakuna? Because ismukana now is ad-dinu. And ad-din, is it masculine or feminine word? term one. It's right. It's masculine, right? There's no reason for it to be feminine, and my words are by default masculine. There has to be a reason for them to be feminine. Then comes lillahi. How do you label lillahi? وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ lillahi. It's jar wal majroor. Label it. Mutalik bil. Two words. Mutalik bil khabar. Barakallahu feek. So yakuna is going to be failun naqis mudare mansoob bil atf. Right? Mudare mansoob bil atf. Ad-dinu ismu kana. Ad-dinu ismu kana lillahi jar wal majroor mutalik bil khabar. Everyone with me so far? Now comes in tahaw. Let's just do the next part of the verse and understand it. And inshallah, I will try my best to finish it. And but real quick, in tahaw, what do you think? In, what is in? Give me labeling for in. Number one, I need to label in. Don't worry about fa yet. In, I need the labeling for. Is in nasb? It's harf nasb or something else. In with hamza kasra. If it is in shartiya, it is in shartiya, right? Now comes intahaw. Intahaw. Is it madin, mudare, amr? What is it? Why is everyone calling it amr? If they stop, if they desist, if they cease, it is madin. It is felun madin. There is no alamatul mudari here, my dear sisters. There is no alamatul mudari here. Noon, ha, ya are the root letters. Noon, ha, ya are the root letters. The beginning of the word is with hamza. The beginning of the word is with hamza. Noon is followed by a ta. Noon, ha, ya are the root letters. Can you tell me the family of this word? Family number 8, because ta, it is ta family with the ta after Paul Kalima. Therefore, it is family number 8. Intahaw, if they stop. Intahaw is fil madin coming after in shartiya. Your jumla shartiya after in can be madin. It can be mudare too. And it is fi mahalli jazmin because in is harf shart jazima. Barakallahu feek, my dear sister Shameen. Now comes if they stop, then what? La udwana. La udwana. There is a fa here. What is the name for this fa? Who remembers? Fa lil jawabu shart, and this is la udwana is jawabu shart. Fa'ul rabita, right? Fa'ul rabita li jawabu shart for jawabu shart, right? Because jawabu shart is jumla ismiya here. What kind of la is there? What kind of la are we seeing? Udwana. Udwana. La udwana. No, it's not nahi. It is la nafiyatu lil jins. It's la nafiyatu lil jins because there is a la that is followed by a word that is light and nasb status. La of categorical negation. No, not a single kind of animosity. If they stop, then there is no animosity. Look at the words of Allah and just see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing not a single kind, not a single type of animosity then, except. Then there is an exception too. Okay? Allah zalimeen. Allah zalimeen. What is going to be Allah zalimeen here? Illa harf istasna. Particle of exception. Jar wal majroor. Jumla ismiya, la was la nafiyatul lil jins. Ismu la is udwana, then comes either khabrula or mutalik bil khabar. So ala zalimin, which is jar wal majroor, is going to be mutalik bil khabar. Make sense or no sense? Alhamdulillah. I hope this verse makes things clear to you all. You have understood what I have done so far. Qatilu fi'lul amr. Waw is file which is referring to antum. Hum mafulun bihi. Hatta. Hatta has hidden an after it. La takuna. La nafiya takuna mudare mansub bi an mudbira badal hatta. Fitnatun ismu kana. Waw harf atf. Yakuna mudare mansub bil atf. Now mudare is mansub because of waw atf. Okay, and ad-dinu ismu kana lillahi mutalik bil khabar. Then comes fa, and we are going to learn it later. In intahu, this noon is kasra file. For why is this noon with kasra? Sister Sabra, I hope she's in the class. Iltaqai sakinain, barakallahu fi. Very well done, right? So no, it's not vakaya, my dear sisters. It is in. It is just because there were two sakins together. Hamzatul wasl is also sakin, and noon is also sakin. So when there are two sakins together, you are going to just put a kasra, right? For the tajweed reason. Yeah, just for the tajweed reason. That's a simple answer for that. Yeah. Iltaqai sakinain, two sakins were together. Now for meeting, the first sakin gets a kasra. Now see the next type of hatta. The next type of hatta is giving you the meaning of so that. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Afa anta tukrihun nasa. Anta, how will you label anta? First two are haruf, it's a jumla ismiya. It's the beginning of jumla ismiya. First two are haruf, hamzatul istifham, la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab, fa, atf, la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. Anta is mubtada. After mubtada, what do you look for? Do you look for maf'ul, fa'il? You look for khabar, barakallahu fi. Do you find one? What kind of khabar do you have? Jumla fi'liya is a khabar, which is fi mahalli raf'in. Tukrihu is mudare marfu with dammatu zahira, right? Ha has a damma, the third root letter. Which family? Can somebody do the sarf of tukrihu? Family number 4, barakallahu fi. An-nasa. Again, it's going to be maful. It is maful bihi. Tukrihun nasa. Mafulun bihi. Hatta yakunu. Yakunu. Hatta is har. Yakunu mudare mansub bi an mudbira. After hatta bihasfin noon li'annahu min al-af'al al-khamsa. What is this waw here? What is the name for this waw? How will you? It's waw al-jama, and it is going to be ismu kana. Mu'minina is going to be, after ismu kana, you look for khabru kana. And khabru kana is nasbin status. Do we see a khabru kana nasbin status? Since you have al-masdarul mu'awwal because of an hidden after hatta, what is the status of this masdarul mu'awwal? An yakunu mu'minina. What will be the status of masdarul mu'awwal? It is going to be fi mahalli jarin. How you are going to connect hatta yakunu mu'minina with tukrihu? Can you connect? Can you connect? Yes. And this is going to be mutalik bil fail tukrihu. No. Mutalik bil fail, dear sisters. Right? Mutalik bil fail. Because tukrihu is a fail and it is connected to tukrihu. Now see the meaning. Do you compel the people so that they become believers? Do you force the people? Would you force the people in order that they become believers? Because Prophet ﷺ, what did he want? He wanted everyone to accept Islam and to have Iman, right? That was his mission. That was he wanted, really wanted from his heart, right? Even Allah has to tell him that, their hadayat is upon me. You are not responsible. Your job is balagh, al-balagh. So with that, I will have to end the session. Inshallah, we'll continue with this and we'll uh, come prepared for your family number one. But my dear sisters, I will send you the slides. Make sure you go over this lesson. This lesson is not easy. So I will highly recommend you to go back to the recordings and listen to the recordings so that each and every one of you is on board with these concepts that we are doing now. So that when we do Quran, the long surahs of Quran, it is piece of cake for each and every one of you. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters. Ameen wa iyaki.